Welcome everyone to the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine Commencement for the class of 2021. I'm Dr. John Zubialdi, Executive Dean of the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine. This is such a special day for all of us because today these dedicated and bright individuals are receiving the degree of Doctor of Medicine and officially entering the noble profession of medicine. We are pleased that all of you are joining us today in this graduation ceremony and celebrating the accomplishments of this year's OU College of Medicine graduates. Joining me on the stage today to participate in the ceremony are some of our university and college officers, and I would like to now recognize them. And as I do, I ask that each of them stand as their name is called, remain standing, and request that the audience hold applause until all are recognized. First, Acting Chairman of the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents, Regent Michael Cawley. Senior Vice President and Provost of the OU Health Sciences Center, Dr. Jason Sanders. Senior Associate Dean, Dr. Stephen Crawford. Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Chris Candler. Associate Dean for Admissions, Dr. Sherry Baker. Associate Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Mark Ferguson. Associate Dean for Research, Dr. Mary Beth Humphrey. Associate Dean for Continuing Professional Development, Dr. C.A. Sivram. Associate Dean for Clinical Practice, Dr. Lynn Mitchell. Assistant Dean for Diversity and Inclusion, Dr. Robert Salinas. Assistant Dean for Preclinical Curriculum, Dr. Teresa Scordino, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Katie Smith, President of the College of Medicine Alumni Association, Dr. Jason Lees, the University of Oklahoma Chief COVID Officer, Dr. Dale Bratzler, and also members of our College of Medicine faculty. Please join me in applause for our guests today, officials. You may all be seated. Before we begin our ceremony today, I would like to acknowledge the loved ones who are not here with us. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, many have experienced immeasurable loss and have mourned the unexpected passing of friends and family. To those who have lost loved ones, we know that they are never truly gone, and they are in our hearts today. Would you all please join me in a moment of silence for those we have lost and left behind? Thank you. Graduates, each of you know that you did not get to this day alone. We must now take this opportunity to recognize those whose support contributed successfully and significantly to your achievements. To the parents, spouses, and other family members, friends, and faculty who are here, we give each of you a very heartfelt thank you. Thank you for your encouragement, your sacrifice, and your unwavering support. We are grateful for your loyalty to these students who are now doctors today. Class of 2021, please stand and face your guests and your faculty and take a moment along with me to express your gratitude and thanks to all who helped support and encourage you along this journey. You may be seated. Well, class of 2021, this long-awaited day has finally arrived. The culmination of your medical school education and the beginning of this important next phase of your continuing education and training. During your 4 years with us here at the College of Medicine, you have been witness to many exciting developments and changes in medicine as well as in our medical school. You have endured significant changes in your curriculum, as you all well know, your study methods, interviewing process for residencies. You guys were the test case this year. You did it well. All of this you did in the middle of a pandemic. You've learned grit. You've learned resilience. You have learned tenacity. But most importantly has been the transformation that has occurred in each and every one of you during your journey as a medical student. You have demonstrated outstanding commitment to your medical studies, and you have performed exceedingly well. Yours is a class that has shared excitement, anxiety, stress, intellectual and emotional growing pains, and at times exhaustion, relief, and elation. You are stronger and closer because of sharing all of those experiences. You have also demonstrated extraordinary commitment to the needs of people who are much less fortunate than yourselves. And your volunteerism has been remarkable, and I mean remarkable. Lastly, you have exhibited outstanding professionalism and leadership. Without your efforts at service and community engagement during this pandemic, our institution's vaccination and outreach efforts could not have been as successful as they have been. And for that, we give you heartfelt gratitude and thanks. Class of 2021, today, you become graduates and alumni of the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine, a medical college that this year is celebrating its founding 121 years ago. Your class will leave an indelible mark and positive mark on the College of Medicine and on each other. Congratulations from the bottom of our hearts, class of 2021. Congratulations on your achievements and your success in reaching this critical milestone in your careers. So will the faculty of the college and our guests in the audience today please now join me in expressing how truly proud we are of our graduating class 2021. So it is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our 2021 commencement speaker, Dr. Trinita Cannon. Dr. Cannon is an associate professor of head and neck surgery and communication sciences at Duke University in North Carolina. She also serves as the vice chief of head and neck surgical oncology at the Duke Raleigh Hospital. A native of Warren, Ohio, she first obtained a degree in nursing, then worked as a registered nurse before applying to medical school at the University of Rochester School of Medicine and Dentistry in New York. In 2003, she graduated from medical school with honors and then completed a 7-year research-intensive residency at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This was in otolaryngology, head and neck surgery. Following her residency, Dr. Cannon completed a fellowship in head and neck surgical oncology, as well as microvascular reconstructive surgery at the Medical University of South Carolina. In 2011, we were very fortunate to have her join us at the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine in the Department of Otolaryngology. And during her time here with us, she served many roles, including faculty, fellowship director of our head and neck oncology program, third year student course director, and also medical director for OU Physicians Head and Neck Clinics. Dr. Cannon now serves as associate professor in the Duke University Health System and also for the Duke Cancer Institute. Along with all of her academic commitments, she serves on numerous national committees and also as a peer reviewer for several medical journals. Most recently, she was elected as the Senior Oral Board Examiner for Otolaryngology and has been appointed to the Advanced Training Council for the American Head and Neck Society. While Dr. Cannon has been honored with many awards, she is most grateful for her induction into the African American Hall of Fame, as well as her induction into the Warren High School Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame, as well as being an outstanding teacher on numerous occasions and awards given to her by her residents. Dr. Cannon is also the proud mother of a son who has served in the United States Navy and has gifted her the role of grandmother to a wonderful grandson. So I am pleased now to introduce the Honorable Dr. Trinita Cannon. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
I would like to personally thank the President, the Regents, the Dean, trustees, faculty, parents, friends and family, but most importantly, the class of 2021 for having me today. I also want to say, congratulations, new doctors. This is the moment that you have dedicated your whole lives to earning, the moment that you have been waiting for and working tirelessly for since you knew you wanted to go to medical school. It is a tremendous honor to share this significant milestone with you today, for today is the day that we honor you. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this day does not look exactly the way that you had imagined it. However, it is still a day for celebration. I am staring at the future leaders in healthcare. Despite the accumulating gray hairs, I do remember being in your shoes. In 2003, I graduated from the University of Rochester School of Medicine. And as I reflect on this moment, I also remember my fears about starting my internship at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In fact, I was so nervous that I went to the hospital every day for an entire week before orientation even started and walked the halls so that I could know where everything was. I was very nervous that I would not know where I would go on my first day. I can tell you that after almost 20-something years, there are still moments that I get nervous. However, just like I did on that first day of residency, I own that nervousness, and I use that nervousness to make me a better physician. The transition will seem overwhelming at first. Know that the journey at the University of Oklahoma has prepared you to navigate challenges and to leverage the opportunity to implement your skills in hospitals all across the nation. By taking up the profession of medicine, you have chosen to put yourselves on the front line, and this has never been more apparent than during the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to take this time to offer just a bit of advice. As you move into the world of work, remember that you will be caring for patients from across all cultures and socioeconomic backgrounds. As such, you must learn to think, speak, and work across boundaries. As physicians, we must learn to listen to our patients and continue to cultivate empathy and compassion for every patient so that we can offer the highest quality of care that is free from racial disparities. A phrase that you hear often, first, do no harm. One of the best ways to fulfill this oath is to listen and to learn. True listening starts at the bedside. By listening, you gain the opportunity to empathize and thus to bring dignity to your patients at a time of their greatest suffering. Treat every consult not as a task, but as a learning opportunity. As you transition, find a system that works for you. It should correspond to your own learning style, and it may not look like your co-residents. If you find yourself falling behind, seek help. That help can be from a fellow resident, your program director, a mentor, or the ACGME office. Honesty, ethics, and professionalism are the foundation of medicine. So no lies, ever. Maintain the ethical principles that were instilled in you during your training. It is an honor and a privilege to take care of patients, and we have the responsibility to our patients and to the public to do this in the very best way possible. The commonality that we all share is that we went into medicine to help to care for people. Be sure not to lose sight of this in the noise that is the monster that is healthcare. My next bit of advice will focus on showing up. How you show up is how you will be remembered. What do I mean by that? I mean that you have a very short period of time to solidify your reputation, and you want your reputation to be that of a responsible, intelligent, and caring physician who is respectful to colleagues and to patients. During residency, you are not just training, you are laying the foundation of your legacy. Leave your attitude at the door. Respect each member of the healthcare team. When you are the consulting team, no call is stupid. When you get a call, you should answer it and try to be helpful. Condition yourself to respond in a polite and professional tone. When I answer the phone, I don't care if it's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., I say the same. Hello, this is Dr. Cannon with ENT. How can I help you? Learn to be confident. Do not be cocky. Being confident in your work and knowledge is vital to being a great physician. But there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Those who are truly arrogant often lack insight and don't recognize their own limitations. This can be dangerous and can lead to preventable mistakes. As a resident learner, one of your tasks will be to seek solutions and opportunities. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to be wrong, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I wish that I could tell you otherwise, but you will make mistakes. You can minimize the number of mistakes that you have the potential to make by following through with all of your tasks and by relying on your team when you can't. There can be an emotional impact after making a medical error. Acknowledge your mistakes to both family and friends and discuss things with a trusted colleague. It helps to review your successes and accomplishments to prevent the loss of confidence. And never make the same mistake twice, as you should always learn from your mistakes. One mistake that many of us make, not related to patient care, is doubting in our own abilities. You know more than you think you do. Despite learning one of the highest degrees bestowed, many of you have and will doubt your intelligence and feel like you don't belong. This can happen for many reasons. I am a former teen mom. I got pregnant at the age of 15. I did not start college until I was in my 20s. Prior to starting Comments, there were many comments about how I had ruined my life. College was an uphill battle for me and required a lot of humility. I was not a genius in school. I have never felt like I was the smartest person in the room. I did, however, learn to ask for help. Despite everything that I have accomplished, I still have self-doubt periodically and suffer from what is known as Imposter Syndrome. I am here to tell you that this syndrome is real, and for many, it is an internal demon that you will struggle with. If you don't know, Imposter Syndrome is defined as a psychological pattern in which one doubts one's own accomplishments and has persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. If you suffer from this, you are not alone. In addition, like me, many of you may find yourselves in the role of being the first and the only. This can be a tremendous burden, as we are often fighting daily to make sure we represent our people well and that we are not responsible for being the last. I was the first Black woman to graduate from my residency program and the first Black and female otolaryngologist to join the Department of Otolaryngology here at OU. These feelings can be mitigated by acknowledging that they exist and by talking with others. In fact, my eyes were opened during my first leadership conference sponsored by the American Medical Association. I was a new assistant professor, and I attended this conference with approximately 50 other female physicians of various ranks. We were asked to write down our biggest fears, and from resident to dean, nearly 100% of the answers involved not feeling smart enough or fearing one day that people will recognize that we were not the chosen. Knowing that I was not alone in these thoughts helped me to live with them. During your residency, focus on both the positive as well as the negative feedback. When these feelings start to creep in, find time to take stock in your accomplishments and knowledge that there is still more to learn. Find mentors and friends to talk to. Sharing stories helps you to understand that you are not alone. Intern year is overwhelming for everyone. You may feel like it is just you, but I promise you that it is not. Self-care will be very important throughout your entire career. The culture of medicine is such that we take honor in being sleep-deprived, working to exhaustion, and sometimes working through illness. During my intern year, I collapsed at home from an acute abdomen, and I had emergency surgery on a Saturday on my weekend off. To my family's amazement, I did not tell my team or my program. I had seen many residents come to work ill and get IV hydration between cases, and I did not want to appear as the weak one. On Monday morning, I had cardiothoracic rounds, and at 4 a.m., I asked the nurse to page my doctor. When my doctor wouldn't discharge me for rounds, I took out my own IV, got dressed, and went to rounds. I lasted about a half a day, because without pain medicine, I needed to confess, and I was sent home. This is not a story of honor for me. However, it wasn't until many years later that I realized that I was complicit in cultivating a perverse culture. As an attending, I used my power to cultivate change. Residency is mentally, physically, emotionally demanding work. My advice to you is to take care of yourselves and each other. If you are not physically and mentally healthy, then you are no good to no one. Sleep when you can. Find the activities that are important to you and make them a priority. Schedule time for yourself and for your family. Maintain healthy relationships with friends and family. It is only through this collective effort that we will change the culture of medicine to one that values and rewards self-care. This has been something that you've worked for your whole life. After today, you are no longer medical students. You are doctors with a responsibility that is far-reaching. Let the core values that have brought you this far guide you. You have the critical task of listening hard, of seeing your patient's needs clearly, and showing compassion and empathy for every person that comes your way. Mistakes are inevitable, but do everything that you can to minimize your mistakes and to learn from them. Be true to yourselves and learn to trust in yourself and all that you have learned. We depend on you to give the very best that you have to give. You can only do this if you care for yourselves as if you were caring for others. Enjoy yourself. The demands of residency require mental, physical, and emotional strength and endurance, and it will test you. Today, however, reflect on your past accomplishments with pride and with gratitude. Know that we are extremely proud of you, and we wish you the very best. Congratulations, class of 2021. The future of healthcare is in the very best of hands. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cannon, for those wise and truly caring words. Your heart was really expressed, and we are so deeply grateful. Thank you so much for being with us today. At the OU College of Medicine commencement ceremony, we have a tradition called the student response. Selected by his classmates to offer some final thoughts and words of gratitude on their behalf is Clark Higginbotham. Clark grew up in Oklahoma City, attended Cassidy School. He received his undergraduate degree in biology with a business minor from the University of Texas at Austin. Upon graduation, Clark returned home to Oklahoma City to attend the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine. Since his first day on campus, Clark has enjoyed being involved in a number of organizations. During his time as a student in the College of Medicine, he also served as class senator and on executive committees for the Urology Interest Group, Bridges to Access, and the Health Dash. After serving as the chair of the Community Outreach Committee on the Student Senate, he was selected as the Campus Activities Board Chair and currently serves as the Student Government Association Vice President and Senate Chair. In April, Clark was the recipient of the Joseph J. Ferretti Outstanding Senior Leader Award, recognizing the campus's overall outstanding graduating student. On July 1, Clark will continue his training at the Ochsner Clinic Foundation in New Orleans, Louisiana, as a resident in urology. Would you all please join me now in welcoming Clark Higginbotham to the podium.
All right. Thank you so much, Dean Zubialdi, and thank you again to Dr. Cannon for your words of advice. As Dean Zubialdi said, my name's Clark Higginbotham, and I'm honored to stand here today and say that we have finally made it. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2021. As I began to reflect upon the last 4 years, I remembered the white coat ceremony, which was our first event together as the OU College of Medicine class of 2021. A lot has happened in the last 1,374 days. So let me say that again. It has been 1,374 days since our white coat ceremony. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Day one of medical school. Our first class was molecular and cellular systems. That was also the day of the first total solar eclipse in the United States since 1918. At that time, we all thought it would be the strangest natural phenomena to happen to us during medical school. Boy, were we wrong about that. Stay tuned for more on the global pandemic later. Our most challenging first-year class had to be anatomy. And whether it was the wonder of our first view inside the human body, or coming home smelling like formaldehyde, or a particular dissection group being sprayed by feces with Dr. Halliday, everyone has a potent memory from anatomy. We came to appreciate the individuals who selflessly gave their bodies so that we could learn from them. As we had the privilege to meet their families, I know we all felt a sense of appreciation and call to action for our future patients. Day 354, the second year of medical school began. We jumped right back on the tracks, running through cardiology, neurology, and the reproductive systems, only to learn that the light at the end of the tunnel was a train known as Step 1. Fortunately, the conductors guiding us through were our study materials, Anki, Sketchy Med, and of course, UWorld. Thankfully, that exam wasn't pass-fail for us because that would have been way more stressful. We learned a lot during our first 2 years. We learned that Dr. Garrett will put jackalopes into every single PowerPoint presentation. We learned that you will stand up and dance with Dr. Hill on the first day of immunology. And we learned that Dr. Kern will tell us every single day to read all the follies. Day 683. As the first day of third year happened, our clinical rotations began. I think Charles Dickens put it best when he said, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." My first rotation was internal medicine. Who knew that 8 weeks could take so long? Taking bone marrow samples, helping draw spinal fluid, and sneaking away on day 692 to check my Step 1 score. And of course, admiring Dr. Ali's superhero tattoos instead of paying attention during afternoon lectures. OBGYN. A wise chief resident once told me, always take the extra time to put on shoe covers. Trust me. General surgery. Who knew that 8 weeks could take so long? From the early mornings to the late nights, and forgetting the name of the operation after retracting organs for 5 hours, I think my trauma call weekend was a microcosm of the entire third year of medical school. As 6 gunshot victims came into the ER all at the same time, the other medical students and I ran around like chickens with their heads cut off. We weren't all that helpful, and as the night went on, we realized just how little we actually know. However, we will forever be grateful to Dr. Rains for treating us like human beings and for pushing his robotic surgery agenda. Pediatrics. I did half of my pediatrics rotation virtually, and therefore, I managed to avoid catching any upper respiratory infections. Everyone just seems happier in pediatrics. I mean, the walls have animals on them, and a majority of the time, the patients are happy kids, especially when they're throwing up or pooping on medical students. And last but not least, neurology. I want everyone to remember, when you've had your worst week of residency, you have had 0 sleep, and you get that call at 4 a.m., don't ever forget to include migraines on your differential diagnosis. Be a powerboat, not a raft. Thank you, Sarah. Day 939. Our entire world stopped due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to thank the school for keeping our education moving during this stressful time. We attended lectures through Zoom University, and my favorite story took place during the virtual anesthesia elective. While dressed to impress, our classmate, who shall remain nameless, gave his entire presentation over Zoom. After finishing, he promptly stood up, and the class realized he wasn't wearing any pants. Lucky for them, he was wearing boxers. I guess those are just some of the lessons we learned as we approached 4th year and virtual interviews. Day 1054, the first day of our 4th year. I know this year looked a lot different than anyone would have predicted, but we returned to in-person rotations in the summer, and we even beat the national average on step 2. As Dr. Zubialdi said, we were the guinea pigs for virtual residency applications, happy hours, and interviews. Fast forward to day 1310, otherwise known as match day, when we all found out where we would be spending the next days of our lives. We came from many different states and countries, and over the last 1,374 days, our class has made not only a home, but created a family in Oklahoma City. We volunteered more than 7,700 clinical hours and more than 1,500 health education hours. Additionally, we helped efforts like the Million Masks Challenge, the COVID-19 Emergency Response Team, and we have administered hundreds of vaccines. We had more PAL teaching assistants than any previous class. We also survived the never-ending emails about increased study spaces for students in the hospital every week. And even more surprising, we were intramural champions in football our 2nd year. We helped create entities that will forever be a part of the OU Health Sciences Center, such as the Unity Clinic and Lumina. We helped improve the curriculum for race and equity and LGBTQ+ education. We also participated in the White Coats for Black Lives movement. We made best friends for life, we met life partners, and some even had children during medical school amid a global pandemic. We are forever thankful to the medical professionals who have selflessly treated patients during this difficult time. We are also grateful for the opportunity to celebrate in person today with our friends and our family. We have learned much from our great professors, mentors, patients, and of course each other along the way. We even learned so much from Dr. Postier and Dr. Blair that they decided to retire. 1,374 days of learning, laughing, loving, and now leaving. I am really proud of everything that our class has accomplished in these last 4 years. Thank you so much to everyone that helped us along the way. Please join me in congratulating the OU College of Medicine class of 2021.
All right. Thank you so much, Clark. What a great recap of all of the excitement over the last 4 years. The practice of medicine has a rich tradition in public service. Today, some of our graduates are not only taking on the responsibilities of becoming a physician, but also committing to the service of our country. At this time, we would like to recognize the individuals who are graduating from the OU College of Medicine and are receiving commissions in the United States Armed Services. I ask that these individuals stand as I call their names. First is Robert Moran, serving United States Army. Next is Sarah Xiao, who is serving in the United States Air Force. Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations to each of you on your achievement, and we thank you so much for your commitment to our national service. Thank you again. The art and the science of medicine come together with particular clarity in our combined MD, PhD program. I will now present to you the student graduating in a combined degree program who has also satisfied the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The student will now come forward to be invested with a hood symbolic of the PhD degree. Hannah, come on up. Yeah. Hannah Ray Barrett earned her PhD in cell biology. Her faculty mentor throughout her PhD training is Dr. Jose Alberola Ila. She is hooded today by Dr. Ann Louise Olson, Director of our College of Medicine MD PhD program. Woo! All right, it's now time to authorize the awarding of degrees. It is now my distinct pleasure to recognize Regent Michael Cawley, Acting Chairman of the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents. Regent Cawley.
Good morning. Congratulations. And you have my most hearty and sincere best wishes for the future. I was just telling Dean Zubialdi as we were suiting up before coming in here, my father graduated from this medical school about 80 years ago. So it's a real honor, Dean, to be here today, and I wish he were around to see it, actually. On to business. By the powers vested in me by the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents, the State Regents for Higher Education, and the laws and statutes of the state of Oklahoma, I authorize the Executive Dean to award degrees at the 2021 College of Medicine Commencement. So authorized.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Regent Cawley. Okay, this is the moment you all have been waiting for. Will all of the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine please stand at this time? Members of the class of 2021, you have satisfied all of the requirements and obligations that were imposed by the faculty for graduation from the University of Oklahoma College of Medicine. Acting now on their recommendation and by the authority vested in me by the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents and the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education, I now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medicine and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities associated with the degree. Congratulations, class. You may now be seated. At this point in our ceremony, Dr. Mark Ferguson, Associate Dean for Student Affairs, will now individually recognize each of our OU College of Medicine graduates. The student marshals, here's the procedure, the student marshals will lead each row of graduates to the platform to be invested with the hood that is symbolic of the Doctor of Medicine degree. After each student receives their hood, another great ceremony here, you'll cross the stage over to the side to sign the doctor book. For the first time, our graduates will add the letters, this is really important, MD following your signature. This is a tradition of the College of Medicine since 1939. So a couple of volumes, a lot of names in that book, so welcome to being graduates of the College of Medicine. So we're going to go ahead and move now to our hooding ceremony.
Hooded by her father, Dr. David Lee Gordon, Dr. Olivia Nicole Gordon. Hooded by his father, Dr. Thomas Tinker, Dr. Stephen Tinker. Hooded by his uncle, Dr. J. Patrick Livingston, Dr. Clark R. Higginbotham. Dr. Hannah Ray Barrett. Hooded by her father, Dr. Xiangming Xiao, Dr. Sarah Lynn Xiao. Hooded by her father, Dr. Subin Naidu, Dr. Yashna Naidu. Hooded by his brother, Dr. Vyacheslav Linkov, Dr. Pavel Linkov. Dr. Robert Moran. Hooded by his grandfather, Dr. James E. Allen, Dr. Parker Allen. Dr. Sylvia Hayes. Dr. Indigo Drew Vincent DeBerry. Dr. Hayden Bryan. Dr. Lindsay Blaylock. Dr. Cody Edward Bushyhead. Hooded by her sister, Dr. Chelsea Daynault, Dr. Emily Daynault. Hooded by his father, Dr. Donald Ray McGinnis, Dr. Austin Michael McGinnis. Dr. Ellie Day Hummel. Dr. Taylor Campbell. Dr. Peyton Murdoch. Dr. Morgan Tovar. Dr. Samantha Patel Kelly. Hooded by her brother, Dr. William Andrew Sprouse, Dr. Catherine Sprouse. Dr. Robert Nicholas Todd. Hooded by her father, Dr. Arif Shakir, Dr. Zainab Shakir. Dr. Uzma Sandhu. Dr. Robert Alexander Gonzalez. Hooded by his father, Dr. Tuana Deep, Dr. Harrison Deep. Dr. Matt Sleeth. Dr. Connor Glass. Dr. Bennett Oden. Dr. Anna Muhammad Zadeh. Dr. Jessica Shenoy. Dr. Steve Lander. Dr. Camille Milton. Dr. Mackenzie Valentine. Hooded by his mentor, Dr. George Selby, Dr. Connor Davey. Dr. Zach Anderson. Dr. Taylor Ray Kaiser. Hooded by his wife, Dr. Taylor Ray Kaiser, Dr. Travis Dale Kaiser. Dr. Richard Wynn. Go ahead. Go ahead. Dr. Tristan Lilly. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Hooded by her father, Dr. Kurt Mitchell Steinhardt, Dr. Alexis N. Steinhardt. Hooded by her father, Dr. David Siegler, Dr. Juliana Camille Bryant. Dr. Sherilyn Nicole Scott Ellerby. Go ahead. Dr. Jen Wynn. Dr. Amy Parker. Dr. Afsal Shakir. Dr. Rachel Leanne Davis. Hooded by her father, Dr. Ronald Earl Bolin, J.D., Dr. Jessica Bolin. Dr. Dominic Pierre Martin. Dr. Kelsey Anderson. Hooded by her father, Dr. Mark Stephen Milston, Dr. Jennifer Milston. Dr. Tony Curuvilla Varghese. Hooded by his father, Dr. Robert C. Parker, Dr. John Robert Parker. Dr. Cameron Nix. Hooded by her mother, Dr. Deborah Hefner, Dr. Taylor Sears. Dr. Hannah Moreau. Dr. David Arnold Kelly, Jr. Dr. Rachel Louise Wolanski. Dr. Forrest Witt. Dr. Muhammad Bormoff. Hooded by his mother, Dr. Satya Chauhan, Dr. Ahmad J. Chauhan. Dr. Alexander Crawford. Dr. Arpan R. Chakraborty. Dr. Mackenzie Monagold. Dr. Derek Lehman. Dr. Suparshva Parikh. Dr. Sean Patrick Abbott. Dr. Raul Orozco Villalobos. Hooded by her spouse, Dr. Blake Jacobs, Dr. Christina Jacobs. Dr. Kyle McCauley. Hooded by his father, Dr. Mike Maxwell, Dr. David Maxwell. Dr. Thomas Labarth. Dr. Andrew Young. Dr. Luke Fletcher. Dr. James Green. Dr. Parker Kane. Dr. Nadia Mamadova. Dr. Miranda Garlett Smith. Hooded by their brother, Dr. Trevor Clayton Anderson. Dr. Brad Heldman. Dr. Eric Benjamin Willis. Dr. Lillian Flanagan. Dr. Kyle Dillon. Dr. Gina Moon. Dr. Lindsay Wynn. Dr. Bailey Vasquez. Dr. Jordan Larson. Dr. Cheyenne J. Hilgenberg. Dr. Jing Herwig. Dr. Carol Abraham. Dr. Corey Bright. Dr. Connor Blaine Rutherford. Dr. Samantha Sweeney. Dr. Lily Wynn. Dr. Amanda Duvall. Dr. Safiullah Ijaz. Dr. Jeffrey Bogard. Dr. John Junyoung Cha. Hooded by their spouse, Dr. John Cha, Dr. Miri Sun Cha. Dr. Kelly Senku. Dr. Chin-Yu Wong. Dr. Patricia Pius. Dr. Sachin Saju. Dr. Jingtong Wu. Dr. Dane Fleming. Dr. Rajutha Priya Garamella. Hooded by her father, Dr. Kevin G. Baker. Dr. Haley Elise Baker. Dr. Mariano Brandow. Dr. Evan Fields. Dr. Daniel Jabrelli. Dr. Riley Darby McClure. Dr. Connor Q. Dr. Spencer Lee Hill. Dr. Chelsea Bowman. Dr. Joshua Mars. Dr. Kaylee Cox. Hooded by her mother, Dr. Melissa A. Schrader, Dr. Lindsay Schrader. Dr. Sawyer Clement. That's it. Yep.
Graduates of 2021, congratulations. One of the medical profession's most important and honored and noble traditions is the taking of an oath at the time of graduation from medical school. Let me take a brief moment to provide an explanation of the Hippocratic Oath. So if you all could get out your commencement brochures. The Hippocratic Oath is an oath that historically was taken by physicians and is one of the most widely known of Greek medical texts. It is the earliest expression of medical ethics in the Western world. It establishes several principles of medical ethics that remain of significance today. These include the principles of medical confidentiality and non-maleficence, the latter usually meaning, first, do no harm. Swearing to a modified oath today remains a rite of passage for medical graduates in many countries. I now ask you, class of 2021, please stand in the presence of your faculty, your family, and your friends to take the oath for the profession of medicine. And for those students and those assembled, the oath can be found on page 16 of your program. So if you all would repeat after me. Upon being granted admission to the profession of medicine, I solemnly swear by all that I hold most sacred that I will keep this enduring oath. I pledge to devote my life to the service of humanity. To the best of my ability and judgment, the health and the life of my patients will be my first consideration. I will lead my life and practice medicine conscientiously and with honor. I will abstain in treatment from whatever is deleterious and mischievous. I will hold in confidence all that my patients trust and share with me. I will not permit the consideration of race, religion, nationality, politics, or social standing. To intervene between my duty and my patient. I will give respect and gratitude to those who taught me the science and the art of medicine. And I will share my knowledge with others. I will maintain the integrity and the noble traditions of the medical profession. These promises I make freely and upon my honor in the presence of those here assembled. May happiness and good repute be granted me while I keep this oath inviolate. Congratulations, doctors. You may be seated. To all of you in our audience today, we thank you for being a part of this very special day. Class of 2021, you came to medical school full of aspirations and dreams, and the faculty and I truly hope that those aspirations and those dreams have been realized. We hope that you have come to understand the necessity of lifelong learning, the meaning of professionalism, and the very special bond between patient and physician. The OU College of Medicine is a special place, a place where your lives have been literally transformed and made richer. In years to come, you will find that memories will always tie you to this institution, to this place, and to those who have taught you, and to those who have nurtured, shared, and encouraged your dreams. Please take what you have learned and excel in your next phase of training in residency. Have pride in your medical school and in your medical education, just as we have pride in you. Stay connected and interested as active alumni of the College of Medicine. You will now go forth from this place into a world that greatly needs your idealism, your energy, your skills, and your courage. We believe in you. Our very best wishes go with you. We are so proud and so happy this day to call each of you doctor. You are a class of extraordinary individuals that we now welcome as colleagues into the marvelous profession of medicine. Once again, from all of us, congratulations, class of 2021. Congratulations, and we are dismissed.